An eargasm of learning and a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast with me, John Santos. And today, we have a very, very special guest. Let me say this, guys. I'm not just a fan, but I really, borderline stalker. Because she has like powerful reels. And when I say reels, video on Instagram about, helping people, not only entrepreneurs, but her content really transform lives by giving nuggets of learning how to put, as basic as it sounds, but it's a big deal in content creation. How to add subtitles, how to do this, how to save this, what works and what not. If you're not getting views, what do you need to do? I mean, those things might sound simple and basic, but trust me, guys, for all the listeners and viewers out there, they know what struggle it is. And our guest for today, guys, is just amazing. She offers it in such a way that it's very easy for commoners, let me just use that word, to, it's to transform their content and to go to the next level. And for me, I respect people like that because they're sharing their knowledge, their wisdom. Our guest for today, guys, is a social media marketing expert. Woo! Up the ladder, marketing expert. And wow, you know me, guys. I'm not only a fan, I'm a supporter, and I believe in people that are genuine enough in giving values and helping out to transform people's lives. She is not only an expert, but she's also an internationally recognized voice-over artist. Now, that alone says it all. Very beautiful, very humble. I love the humor. Our guest for today worked with big brands, guys. Big brands, worldwide brands like Coca-Cola, American Express, Johnson & Johnson, and a lot more. Wow. We are in the presence of greatness.
No, bro. I'm not sure how I'm going to follow this, John.
Let's all welcome our very special guest for today's episode, the beautiful, the awesome, Julie Caruth. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, I am humbled, John. I don't know how to follow all that. That's crazy. Thank you. Very, very blessed to be here.
Julie, I said this off cam and I'll say it again. Thank you so much for all the viewers and listeners. I made a joke a while ago. It's good morning to her, good evening to me, and then she said it's more like good night to you, John. It's like opposite, morning, night, but she is here with us today. So Julie, again, blessing. It's a blessing to have you on the show. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it. It's been a long road to get to this point, but it's been a fantastic journey.
Wow, love that. So, Julie, I'm excited, and I know our listeners and viewers are also excited. What or who influenced you to be in this position of greatness? This position that you are creating valuable content, that you're helping a lot of people, entrepreneurs and content creators worldwide. Tell us your story, an overview of you as a person and as a brand. The floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Wow. Where to begin with this story? It's an interesting journey. Everybody always asks, well, how did you get into voiceovers? That's usually the number one question I get from people. But it all began back about when I was 12 years old. Crazy story. I just have to share the story with anybody who wonders what journey God or the universe, whoever you glorify, who brought you to the point you are now. I always wanted to be a singer. I began my journey when I was 8 years old, being in musicals and on TV with music and singing. And my uncle was a very famous Nashville star, and so he would let me be on a lot of his TV shows with him. And so I was convinced I was going to be a singer. I mean, I knew that's what I was going to do. And I was in an amazing talent competition here in Oklahoma called Oklahoma Kids Talent Search. And we got to perform on stages every single weekend. And well, they had a competition throughout the year, and it was 5 different levels. And I got through level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5's the stage that you want to get on. Like, that's the one that's televised. It's just a huge deal. And I was going to get there. And so they brought all these kids at the end of level 4 up on the stage, and they're like, and going to state finals. And they bring all these kids up, and they're like, and you're going, and you're going. And my name was never called. And it was such a blow to my ego at 12 years old. Like my whole life was over, and I started bawling my eyes out, and I ran off stage, and I went into my mom's arms, and she's like, baby, it's okay. It's okay. And she actually took me out of the room. And I just thought the world had ended. Well, come about a week later, the people who ran that entire talent search called my mom up, and they're like, we think Julie is so talented in a way other than singing. She's really talented at emceeing. And we want to give her the opportunity to audition to be an MC for the state finals.
Wow. At a young age.
At a young age, like I was 12 years old. And I was like, emceeing? I didn't even know what that word meant. Emceeing means just basically getting up and carrying the whole show.
I was about to ask a question. Do you know what they're talking about?
I didn't even have a clue. I had no clue. But lo and behold, I go on to the auditions. My mom got me training on how to be an MC. My mom was wonderful. But I went into this audition, and I auditioned amongst a lot of great people. And I ended up getting that job to MC the entire state finals. It was amazing, right? So you think you're on this one road, and God says, nope, turning you a different way. And so as I was emceeing that state finals, they invited me to MC a lot of different talent shows. And at one of those talent shows was a TV news reporter named Ron Stahl, big Oklahoma reporter here. And basically he pulled me aside and said, you're good. You're really good for such a tiny age. And he invited me to start coming hanging out with him at ABC, which is a huge affiliate here in Oklahoma. Oh, it's nationwide. So I started going to ABC. I'd get out of school and go hang with him for the entire day and go with on his different places that he would do his news stories and live shots. And I was in love with news. Well, by the time I was 16, I had the opportunity to actually audition to be on ABC, be a student News Corps reporter. And hundreds, thousands of kids came in from all over the state to audition for that. And I got it at 16. Wow. I got to start being a student News Corps reporter with ABC, which was a phenomenal experience, which taught me how to stand up and present myself in front of a camera, because it's one thing being on stage, but being on a camera is a whole different story. It also taught me, how do you tell a news story in a 2-minute or less amount of time? And that was challenging. At 16, teaching a 16-year-old how to write for that was amazing. But it also taught me how to take I had my own film crew. They brought my own.
Wow. You're living the life, eh?
It was cool. Like 16 years old, man. I'm like, and this is Julie Carruth actually it was Julie Millspaw was my main name. Julie Millspaw for ABC Student News Corps reporter. Wow. Back to you. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. But what a very incredible experience at 16 to start learning that. But from that realm, I got to learn a lot about camera work and presenting on audio. And from that, because of the internet, the way that it has just blown up in the last, 15 years, I've been able to start doing voiceovers internationally, because, you just go down into your studio. I have a professional studio built in this house, and I go into that studio and audition and get a lot of different jobs through that. And, I open up my email every day, and I have jobs waiting there, and I just go into my studio and record them. And it's just a crazy story of, I just want to encourage people that if you are down and out thinking some sort of wall that you've hit that it just doesn't seem to be working, there's always this chance that maybe you're supposed to pivot a little bit and go a different direction. And that's what literally changed my entire life.
Wow. That's a clip there already. It's a powerhouse clip. I mean, I love that, and it's true. I totally agree. There's a lot of experiences like that, similar to your story, and I know our listeners and viewers, they feel that. Maybe they're in the situation that they feel that there's no more pushing forward. There's no hope. There's no light. What you said there gave them hope that a door closed, but there's another one opening.
Yeah.
Could be better. Wow, I love that. You just give them hope. I felt that. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that. That's powerful. That's powerful. And guys, you see how powerful our guest is today. We're only just beginning, and she's like powerhouse, dropping knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb.
Oh, thank you, John.
Julie, before we jump on the topic, I'm very interested in the voiceover. Can you give us an overview of what, because I've worked with branding and advertising world and media, so we do voiceover. But in your context, what basically do you do with your golden voice?
Okay, good, great question. Okay, so this is, like I said, I get this question a lot, John, and this is what I tell people. 13 years ago, I was in radio, and everybody, it seems like all the people were asking me to do their ads. And I remember going to my husband and I said, I think that there's an opportunity for me to become a voiceover artist, like get rid of this radio job and actually be able to work my own hours doing voiceovers. And so I got on the internet and I started doing a lot of research about what it takes to get into voiceovers. And it's not an easy field to break into. It's tough. You got to have thick skin when you're in voiceovers. But I was like, I've got to get training. I mean, that's the one thing my mom taught me. If you want to do something, be the best at it. You got to have a mentor to help you to get to that point. And you've got to be able to put the money forward. If you believe this is what you want to do, put the money into it, get a mentor, and the best one you can at that. And so I was on the internet searching for who I wanted to have train me. And there was this lady out in LA, Los Angeles, named Nancy Wolfson, who I contacted, and I was like, I'm going to do voiceovers. And she was probably like, yeah, right. Good luck on that. But no, she did. She took me on. Thank God. She took me on as a client. I met with her weekly. Basically, I don't know if you know who Jillian Michaels is, John, but there was a TV show with a fitness trainer named Jillian Michaels, who would just cuss her people out left and right. Well, Nancy Wolfson is the Jillian Michaels of the voiceover world. And I would get... Yeah. I mean, talk about growing thick skin. So I would get on these, it was phone call back then. Like we didn't even hardly cell phone. We didn't have iPhones yet back then. I mean, this is how far it was, a landline phone. I would get on a phone call with her for an hour a week. She would send me all these scripts. And as she's coaching me through it, she would be dropping the F-bomb here and cussing me out here because I wasn't getting it right. And I was like, why am I doing that? Like what? She would tell me, John, get this. She would tell me on these voiceover calls, your voice irritates me. I can't stand to listen to your voice. Now, it was a little bit higher pitched at the time.
Right.
I get it. I like looking back, I'm sure it was. And I'd be like, God, you've got to move my voice down a level or something like in order to do this. But she was incredible. And I remember telling myself, if I can get through this,
right,
as brutal as every call was, and probably left me in tears more than I want to admit, if I can get through this, I can get through any producer.
Exactly.
No matter what is thrown at me in the voiceover realm, I can get through this. Well, it took me about 6 to 9 months to get through her training. And at the other end of her training, she helps you actually put together your demo. Because if you want to do voiceovers, you really need to have a rock solid demo.
Right.
And so I went to a guy here in Oklahoma, went to his studio in Oklahoma City while she was out in Los Angeles. And through the miracle of the internet, we were able to record in Oklahoma and it go over somehow the airwaves into Los Angeles. And the producer out there was able to record it and tweak it and put together an incredible demo for somebody who had never hardly even done voiceovers. So I took that along with the website that I had created for me, and I started getting on every platform possible. So it'd be like voices.com, voices123.com. I even got into Upwork, anything like that I could get my voice onto and start. So I would start, putting out audition after audition after audition, to the point where you got so many no's. It was just like, God, am I doing this right? What am I doing wrong? Until one morning, I got on and opened my email and got my very first voiceover job. And guess what it was?
What?
It was a Korean Airlines, and it was the voice that you hear when you're about to have a crash landing.
What? Do you still remember the spiel?
It was like, basically, it was the English version of, you're about to die, and this is what you need to do to prepare. It was, I kid you not. And I remember, it's like pretty serious. Like, you need to get in this like fetal position, or if you're going
I know that.
Or, the drop down airbags and all that jazz. And I remember doing it, and the guy got back with me and he said, "You sound a little too serious. Can you make it not so serious?" And I'm thinking, these people are going to die. Like, okay.
Do you still remember the line?
I don't. It was 13 years ago. I just remember thinking, I hope this is the one voiceover that I hope nobody ever hears.
But so the first deal that you got was in the airline, right?
It was the first. It was
Korean
like
Airline.
Korean Airlines, yeah.
And then what happened next after that
I just
deal?
kept continue auditioning. It's almost be like you gamify it. How many no's can I get to get that one yes? So it's like 50 no's to one yes. Well,
really,
eventually,
that many?
I mean, it wasn't. It was a lot, though. I do have to admit, especially when you're just beginning, because you didn't have the clientele yet that you could brag about. The social proof is everything. But so it would eventually, I became great friends with certain different producers.
Yeah. And
to this day, that's where I get the majority of work that I picked up 12 years ago with certain producers. And now they just start handing me all their different voiceovers from them. So anyway, like I said, it's a long journey to get to that point, and you got to have thick skin. If you want to do voiceovers, number one, you've got to get a coach.
Right.
You have to get a demo. You need great equipment. You got to be willing to put the money into it. It's just, that's all there is to it. But if you're willing to get out there and try again, you can eventually do it. And the great thing about voiceovers, or, honestly, video in general, is a lot of people are like, well, everybody tells me I have a voice for voiceovers. And it's not true. That is, you don't actually, the radio voice does not sell well right now. It's not, they want the more conversational.
Yes.
And if you think, well, I have almost like a Mickey Mouse voice, believe it or not, there's a voice for you there. Like, the more, I'm finding right now that the more unique your voice is, actually the more you're booking.
Right.
And so don't let the quality of your voice stop you from trying to do voiceovers, because it's the big booming radio voice doesn't book. People are not looking for that kind of a voice right now. So
guys, those are tips again. Knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. Wow, I love that. And just to jump on that, you're absolutely right. The age of traditional media, where TV, print ads, and radio, it's gone. We have another. This is the age of free media, where content creators can create. Podcasters. They're not radio commentators. They're not journalists, but they are in that situation, and that they can create content, reach out, make interviews, conversational, like what you've said. The more natural it is, the better, because people want authentic, conversation talk. So I love what you said, because guys, for all the listeners and viewers out there, like what Julie here said, if you think you're not confident with your voice, or you're not confident facing cameras or making videos, throw that away. Throw that mindset away. Don't focus on the naysayers. Get that cell phone, get that mic, record a video, record using your voice, and do it. Because trust me, trust Julie, you have a space in this world. People will connect with you.
Absolutely. And you touched on the video part of it. A lot of people are like, well, I'm too fat. I'm too old. I don't know. You hear it all. My hair is just not right. And that's just a bunch of bogus lies that you're feeding yourself, because if we can look and be honest, the highest grossing female person on camera is Oprah Winfrey.
Ooh.
Now, she's beautiful. I'll give you that. But she has always struggled with her weight her entire time on TV.
Yeah.
And I honestly, as a woman, think I associate with her more because of that. Like, I see that struggle that she has, and we all as females struggle with that as we get older. And, to this day, she still struggles with her weight, but does it stop her from making billions of dollars? No. So it shouldn't stop you either.
Love that. Love that. Now, Julie, you mentioned also, aside from those powerful tips and really persevering in achieving your dream, you mentioned that you receive a lot of, failure, a lot of no's, right? You mentioned that 50 against 1. So it means it's a very competitive industry.
Very much so.
You really need to focus on the right niche. You really need to focus on the right industry that you will play in, the right gameplay, the right game that you will be investing your life, your core, you as a brand. And I know you're an expert. So this is very, well, it's not complicated, but it's also not simple. You can look at it online, Google, YouTube, about the niche word and how to do that and how to really stand out. But really, it's not helping people because, I don't know, maybe they're not giving the authentic value of helping people how to really find and triumph on their respected niche. So you as an expert, which I respect so much, please give us your wisdom, your knowledge based on your experience on how to stand out in your niche. The floor is yours, my friend.
Awesome. Well, if we're talking about for social media, if we're talking about finding your niche in social media, not necessarily the voiceover realm, but now we're switching over to social media, the best advice I have for anybody is your niche is who you were about 5 to 8 years ago. What did you struggle with 5 to 8 years ago that your present day self can turn around to that person 5 years ago and be like, if I could give you any wisdom, this is what I want to tell you to do. I wish so many times I could go back to my former self 5 to 8 years ago and tell me exactly what to do to get to this point now. How do you find that niche? Do you go to the niche that is the most profitable? I think you can get to the point where you can niche down too much. I know some people are like, niche down to the point where you are a mother who struggles with her weight that only drinks out of orange straws.
Very specific, like super narrowed down. Is that really possible? But
I think you almost to the point where you it can't happen. You just not niche down that much. I think generally you can go to a general realm. That's what I recommend people do, but don't niche down so much that you only have 12 people that you could possibly reach. That's maybe eventually, but in the beginning, if you're looking to start and get your name out there, make it a little bit more broad, more than just people who drink out of orange straws. But nonetheless, I don't know, I have an orange straw right here, right? It needs to be something a little bit bigger than that. I always say that look at the person you were 5 to 8 years ago. Now, how did we get to our niche? That's a great question, because as much as even I've been on TV since I was, 12, 15 years old, when it came to social media video, I was terrified of it. Is that crazy? I don't know what it is about social media video, but it freaked the snot out of me, and I refused to get on it. I had a different Instagram account where I actually gave Bible tips, and I actually had like a podcast, and it was on Alexa and things like that. And I knew that video was where I needed to go when Reels came out a year and a half ago. But I was scared. I did not want to get on. I was scared of how I was going to look. I didn't know what to say. It just terrified me. And I thought, my gosh, Jules, if you're the person who's been on TV since you were 16, how do you think the common day person that hasn't had that opportunity feels? This is your opportunity to get out of your own comfort zone and then go forward and figure it out and help those that need your help as well to pull them in, because we all know video, short form video is where it is at right now. There is no denying whether you are on YouTube Shorts, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Instagram, or LinkedIn now is really pushing short form video. If you haven't gotten on LinkedIn yet, that's the next area you should probably start exploring. But short form video is where it's at. And if you're terrified to get on camera, I get it. I absolutely understand where you're coming from. And so know that short form video is where you need to go. Also know that the person you were about 5 years ago is probably the ones that are calling for your help right now. And so we need to be able to help you get to that point where you can flip on that camera on your phone and actually start producing those short form videos.
Wow. Julie, this is we're I think on the 90th episode of the podcast. If I'm not mistaken, 90 or 100. Yeah. But this episode with you is such a unique episode because right from the introduction, you are already sharing, valuable content that our listeners and viewers can really use to transform people's lives, their lives. It's not just, tips, but the way you give your story, it's enough to really move them from point A to B, give them hope and really make a difference. I love that. And that I respect you so much. I'm a fan. I love your message. I love the vibe that comes from you. So again, I'm at awe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julie. Follow-up question, Julie. Actually, not a question, but a takeaway that you can give. I love that you were focusing on, if you were talking as if the people, our viewers, our listeners are doubting themselves. They might be scared to really make a content on video or audio or even, speak or write a blog. Mm-hmm. And I love that you mentioned that and you're urging them to do so. So my follow-up request is a takeaway. What can you share? What can you say for all our listeners and viewers to go and start something?
Okay, so this is what I recommend for people if they're terrified to get on camera. Like I said, I understand that. So one of the ways to get over it quickly is to go ahead and start giving yourself permission to get on short form video with the knowing that you will never release it. Ooh. So, be able to turn that camera on and just talk about whatever it is in your niche that you want to talk about. Hey, 5 year ago self, this is what I would tell you. I would tell you that you need to do this and this. And in order to do that, you need to do this. And then I'm going to go on and I'm going to talk about it and blah, blah, blah. And know that just you're giving yourself permission to be able to talk without actually knowing that you're never going to publish it. Now, with that being said, there is a very great way to talk on short form video. And I call it the HIT method, the HIT method. So it's the hook. You need to give them a hook to pull them into that short form video. Then you need to give them the shortest amount of information possible to fill that hook that you hooked them in with. And then at the end, you need to tell them what to do, whether it be follow for more or comment below or download this PDF. And those are the HIT method. It is as simple as that.
Amazing. I love that. I can't contain myself. It's powerful. Guys, please get this clip, save it on your phone, or if you're an old school, write it down and start creating content. I'm sure it's gonna make an impact. You're gonna make an impact because like what Julie here is doing, she is reaching out, connecting with people and really transforming people's lives. So thank you, Julie, for sharing your story, giving us tips, and really touching our lives and helping us to go to the next level. But we are not done yet. We are not done yet, my dear. We are now in the part that we will play a game. It's a tradition here in the show. We call it the Creative Fast Talk. I'm going to ask you questions, and you are not allowed to think of what the right answer is. The first word that comes into your mind, shoot. Are you ready?
My. Okay. Keeping this PG, I'm guessing.
Don't worry. These are all good, clean fun.
All right.
All right. Question number 1, Julie. Sun or snow?
Sun.
Structure or chaotic?
Structure.
Love or money?
Ooh, love.
If you were an animal, Julie, what animal would you be and why?
Oh, a dog, because they're always excited to see your owners.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. Julie, are you a passenger or driver?
Passenger.
What are you afraid of?
Failure.
Ooh. Wow. Boom. All right. Next. Movies or books?
Movies.
Okay. Since you answered movies, name your top 3 movies of all time.
Ooh, yeah. You know, you're going to see the side of me. Okay, La La Land. Love La La Land for the musical part of it. This is going to sound so stupid, John, but I love You've Got Mail. I'm just a softie at heart for Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Oh, man, a third. I don't know. I can't think. Let's see. I don't know. I'm at a loss. Those are the two. My
Don't
two
worry.
favorite.
2 is powerful. 2 is powerful. All right. Your dream superpower and why?
I would say I would love to be able to know what people are thinking just so that I can help them.
All right. This last question may lead to something serious depending on how you take it. All right.
Okay.
If you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, getting a little sappy here. I lost my mother to Alzheimer's about a year ago, and she got early onset, and she was my best friend, as you could tell throughout this interview. I loved her dearly. She was the most passionate, giving person I've ever met. And at 59, she got early onset Alzheimer's. So by the age of 59, I started losing my mom. My girls never got to really know the mother that I knew. And she, like I said, she died about a year ago. I would love more than anything to be able to bring her back and have the old mom that I knew and let my girls know her.
Wow. I'm sure that she is very proud of you. She loves you so much. And she is supporting you as you move forward and transform people's lives, Julie.
Thank you.
All right, Julie, thank you for giving us your precious time, sharing your stories, giving us value, having fun with us, and, just being an awesome human being. I know you have events. Please promote your online events, your social media, and any releases that you have. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, what I always like people, if you want to get to know us a little bit more, one of the things we do is I have a video tech guide that you can download. And it's all the video tech that I've used to create short form video over the last 13 years, video period over the last 13 years. And the money that I have spent trying to find the best of the best equipment is ungodly. But together, we put together this tech guide that gives you ideas of the video cameras that you would need, the lighting, the audio, which is super important. So you can download the tech guide by DMing us at Social Tribers Tech Guide, and you can immediately have that for free. Now, if you want help actually growing your Instagram account or any sort of social media account, you can go over to Social Tribers on Instagram and DM us there, or you can actually go to socialtribers.com. Abby is my business partner. She and I run Social Tribers together, and she is a freaking brilliant marketer. And she and I together can help you build your account and help you stand out in your niche.
Wow, guys. Please do connect with Julie. I'm sure she can help you in your journey towards success. So again, Julie, thank you so much for being an awesome guest. Always remember, guys, for all our listeners and viewers, always remember, have a positive outlook in life, smile, and God bless.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.